Hi, Cheryl Schmidt here with the third and last video in Command Prompt. In this one, we're going to do copying and deleting files. So we're going to go over the copy command, the del command, and wildcards. So first, how do you copy files? Well, this is probably the easiest command that you've seen or have to remember. It's the copy command. So in order to understand the copy command, well, the copy command is used to copy files from one directory to another. So two important things that you have to know. One, you have to think about where is the file that you want to copy. Exactly. Where's the path? What drives it on? What directory is it in? Because you're going to have to give the computer instructions to find that file. Second piece of information the computer's going to have to know is where do you want to put it. Not to be silly, but you've got to direct the computer exactly where that file is to end up as a copy. So let me give you an example. Here we are working from the F drive, and we know that because the prompt is F:\\. And here's the command, copy, and we're telling the computer exactly how to get to that file. So it's on the F drive, it's in a directory called goodies, and it's the text1.txt file. Now we put a space, and we tell the computer where to put that file. So we want the computer to put it in the F drive from the root directory, that's what that / has to be there, in a directory called school. Alright, so here I'm going to give very similar things, same text1.txt file, but this time we want it, it is in the goodies directory still, but we want it to go in the root directory of the F drive, currently where we're working. So the source is, the file is located on the F drive in a directory called goodies, and it's text1.txt. Where we want to stick it is the root directory of the F drive. So here's how to do that. Copy, the command is copy, space, and then where's the file? F:\goodies / text1.txt is literally an exact map for how to find that text1.txt file. Second, you put a space and then you put the destination path, and we want it to go in the root directory of F drive. So we say F:\/ and then press the enter key. Second example, I want you to notice something missing right here, this destination path. That destination path is missing because we are actually operating from the F drive. And how do we know that? Look at the prompt. So the prompt says we are working from the F drive and on the root directory of the F drive. So we can say copy space, tell where the file is, and the computer will automatically put it in the destination of wherever the prompt is currently setting. So because the prompt says F:\, that's where the file is going to go. Let's take another look at a different one. In this one, notice that I've left off the F:\, in the source. The reason you can do that is for the same reason you can leave off F:; in the destination. It is the prompt. We are already working on the F drive, so the computer will assume the drive. If you leave it off, the computer is going to assume that's the drive where the goodies directory is located, and within goodies directory is the text1.txt file. Last example leaves off F:; in both the source and doesn't put F:\/ in the destination, and that is because again we are working from the root directory of the F drive. Alright, del command. Well, that is used to delete one or more files. Now listen, there are other commands that can be used to copy and remove directories and files. But the thing is, copy and del are used in all environments. If you're in an emergency command prompt environment, copy and del might be the only thing that you have at your disposal. So therefore, you're going to get practice with those, even though if the operating system's working, there are other commands that you could use. So the other reason for you to learn the del command is you can't remove a directory with the rd command until all files have been deleted. So you're going to use the del command in your labs in order to do that. So here's an example. You want to delete a file called homework1.docx from a folder on the G drive, and the folder is called CTS1133. So the first thing that you need to think about exactly what is the path, the complete path to locate homework1.docx, and you need to tell the computer that path. So if you think about that for a minute, g colon backslash CTS 1133, that's the directory, and then the name of the file. So say that we are actually operating from the C drive in a directory called users in a subdirectory called Cheryl2. That's the prompt from where we're working. So we could type del and the full path, and by the way, I'll just tell you, you could be working from anywhere, and as long as there's a directory, as long as there's a G drive, and as long as on that G drive there's a directory called CTS 1133, and within that CTS 1133 directory there's a homework1.docx, that command's going to work no matter what that prompt is. So here I've the third example, I've actually changed the prompt to g colon backslash. Again, you type the exact same command with the full path and it's going to work. You could also leave off the G colon here. Because you're working from the G prompt, you could actually leave that off. But I tend to just tell students, put it in there, because a lot of students don't remember where they're at. They get frustrated when they're working in the command prompt environment, and therefore it's frustrating to them. So it's just easier to learn it one way and not have to think about all the shortcut ways. Here's the last one. If you happen to be working in the directory CTS 1133 and you know that from the prompt, it says you're working on the G drive and you're actually in the command prompt environment, you are actually at the directory CTS 1133. You could simply type del homework1.docx and the file would be deleted. Last, you can use wildcards with the del command and the copy command and other commands. But let's talk about wildcards. Two common wildcards that are used. One is a question mark, and the question mark represents a single character. The asterisk represents multiple characters. So let's look at an example. del space homework question mark period docx would delete any file that starts with the word homework, has one character that's right after the word homework, and ends in the file extension that's .docx. So the homework1.docx would be deleted, homework2, homework7.docx would be deleted. But if you had a file called homework7-6-2016.docx, that would not get deleted because that's more than one character that follows the word homework. Last is an example of the multiple characters. So one of the most common commands you're going to love when you're doing your labs, del asterisk dot asterisk, or I say star dot star, those of us who've grown up in command prompt days. That deletes all files no matter what they begin with, no matter how many characters in the file name, no matter what the file extension is, but that's simply for the root directory of G drive. If you wanted the files to be gone from a directory, you'd have to say like del space g colon backslash CTS 1133 backslash star dot star. So that would get rid of all the files within the CTS 1133 directory. So, do you know what my mantra is for getting good at this stuff? Practice, practice, practice. Do those labs multiple times and keep practicing. Have a great day.